All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. The Colorado Buffaloes have yet to play one official game under new head football coach Deion Sanders, but his effect is already being felt on this program. There is a focus being placed on recruiting at Colorado that the folks in and around Boulder have not experienced in quite some time. As this program that was once a pipeline to the NFL is looking to get back to that. And it's been highlighted so far on Sanders' watch by top recruits that have been eager to sign with Colorado. And honestly, in some cases, they've been eager to do it before the ink even dried on his contract with the Buffaloes. And today we saw more of that primetime effect, if you will, as after being able to only draw about 2,000 people for their spring game last year, this time around, it was about 45,000 people that braved the cold and the snow flurries in Boulder for today's spring game. And when you think about 45,000 people showing up to a spring football game, those are numbers that you would expect from some of the schools in the Big Ten or some of the schools in the SEC. Of course, the Georgias, Ohio States, and Alabamas of the world, it's a little bit different. They're going to get 70 or 80,000 people, but to get 45,000 people to come out and watch a scrimmage, that is a big deal. Now, Colorado has not won more than 5 games in a football season since 2016. And you've got the feeling that those standards will soon be a thing of the past for this program. And that's because, guess what? The prime time effect is real. And, again, seeing so many people get behind this program already, and yet we're still 4 months away from the Buffaloes kicking off their regular season. Now, the bar has been raised at Colorado because of Sanders. And you go back to any place on his coaching journey when he was in high school, when he was also at Jackson State. Deion Sanders, plain and simple, is a leader of young men. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think the football marriage between Deion and Colorado is definitely going to work. I mean, let's face it, there's a generation of college football players and fans that have grown up not knowing that once upon a time, Colorado was a player on the college football scene. We're talking about a program that had 3 top 5 finishes and a national title to boot, all within the stretch of 1989 to 1996. And you think of those days, they came in and kicked in the door, where the Big Eight, and of course the Big Eight conference doesn't exist anymore, but the Big Eight conference in those days um, was the exclusive province of, the Nebraskas and the Oklahomas of the world. And Colorado said, we got a seat at this table too. And then, of course, Colorado's success carried over to the Big 12, and they were one of the top teams when they initially joined the Big 12 conference in the mid 90s. And obviously, they have fallen off of that success, going throughout their final stretch in the Big 12 and even here in their current stretch in the Pac 12 conference. But nonetheless, Dion is trying to get this program back to respectability. And I think he's a guy to do it. He was just 27-6 just 3 seasons at Jackson State. And it's one of those reasons why I say it because, to turn around that program so quick. And then on top of that, being of a player of his caliber, and you're talking about a Hall of Fame defensive back, this guy could do it all on the football field, covering top receivers, playing safety, returning kickoffs, returning punts, you name it, he could do it. But I say that because very rarely do you see the scenario where a great player, such as a Deion Sanders, is able to translate that into a coaching career, because sometimes it's just so difficult for the great ones to really break it down as a at a coaching level. And Dion is a guy, he's able to do it. He's able to motivate these young men. He's also able to lead them. And it's a scenario where when you mix all of that up together, you have a head coach who is definitely going to have some good success. And for me, all eyes are going to be on Colorado this year when they begin the season. And they're going to begin the season right in the spotlight, because you're talking about a Buffalo's team that's going to be traveling to Fort Worth to take on TCU. And this is a TCU team that just played for the national championship a couple of months ago. But nonetheless, you look at it like this: Colorado, I expect to make some noise in the Pac-12, and I'm not talking about. I'm not saying this from the standpoint that I expect them to go out there and immediately contend for the Pac-12 title. No, but I think this is going to once again be a respectable program under Deion Sanders. I think he's done a good job recruiting not only high school players, but he's also just done a phenomenal job in the transfer portal as well. You look at how many players that Coach Prime has gotten to come in to Colorado from the transfer portal, most notably Shador Sanders, who was with him at Jackson State, his son. But then, getting back to the recruiting efforts and the effect with Coach Prime, it's a scenario where, hey, listen, he was getting top recruits to go to Jackson State. So obviously, if he was going to do it there, he's going to do it at a Power Five conference. And, going forward, we don't know the conference affiliation for Colorado, whether they're going to stay in the Pac-12, go back to the Big 12. We don't know. But the bottom line is, wherever this program is going to be, Dion is definitely going to have an impact there. I think he would be good for the Pac-12 if Colorado decided to stay there post USC and UCLA, because that conference is going to need storylines. And obviously, going back to the Big 12, I think it'll be a good storyline there for Colorado, but then also Dion, because part of the Big 12 conference going forward is going to be UCF. And of course, Central Florida. Dion is a Florida guy. So, of course, people are going to be talking about things. And it's a lot of things that you can get into. But nonetheless, getting so many people back behind this Colorado program, and you have yet to even suit up and play an official game or a coaching official game at Colorado, I think that is very telling for things to come for this program. It's one of those where I like to say this for people like Dion, they just have the Midas touch. Anything that they touch turns to gold. We're seeing his impact already in Colorado, and I think this program is definitely headed in the right direction. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.